Hey Don, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's your week been?
It's been pretty well. Pretty hectic, but pretty well.
Okay, good. So I remember last time we met, you took the FICA exam,
Yeah.
or the assessment. And so today we're going to be reviewing your results,
Okay.
and I'm going to go over them with you. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay. Let me pull them up here. So there are 24 different attributes that you have, and so let's see. We can go through each of them, and I'll tell you which ones are in the ranking, and then you can pick which ones you kind of want to focus on and maybe ask questions about.
Okay.
So, for number 1, you got bravery.
Okay.
2, creativity. 3, perseverance. 4, kindness. 5, teamwork. 6, fairness. 7, gratitude. 8, honesty. 9, hope. 10, judgment. 11, leadership. 12, spirituality. 13, prudence. 14, humor. 15, social intelligence. 16, love. 17, forgiveness. 18, humility. 19, love of learning. 20, appreciation of beauty and excellence. 21, perspective. 22, self-regulation. 23, zest. And 24, curiosity.
Okay.
And I know you have a copy of this, but I wanted to read it out loud to see if anything kind of stood out to you that it didn't really come flying off the page when you were reading it. So.
I guess one of the things that I looked at was the leadership piece.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't imagine it being as low as it was
Okay.
on the results.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little shocked about the bravery piece, but I guess me being an introvert, kind of being able to come outside of my box, it is sort of like a brave attribute to have, I guess. So
Yeah.
I guess that fits.
Can you tell me a little bit more about why you were surprised about, or what makes you feel that your leadership should have been higher?
Just because I value leadership and I value proper leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that anybody in a headship should be able to lead correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also envision myself as a leader of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of expected that to be higher on my values
Mm-hmm.
than a lot of the others. Like, now creativity can stay, but
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess the top ones, now that I look at them, they do kind of fit me, but I just imagine teamwork leadership being higher.
Okay. Sure. So what does that look like for you in kind of a snapshot of where you are now? What does that look like for you? Are you going to try to increase your leadership skills, or do you think you have sufficient skills there?
I think increasing my leadership skills is probably going to be the main thing that I'm focusing on right now,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the position that I'm in with the cultural center on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also applying for managerial positions for jobs and things like that. So
Sure.
I would want my leadership to be of high value in my life, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
with these various roles of being in a leadership position, or maybe just pictured as a leader for the campus, I would expect that to be a little bit higher.
So you want it to mean something more than just...
Well, according to the test,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so are there any of them that you maybe you want to focus on, or that you feel, kind of confused you after looking at your results?
Love of learning was
Okay.
also another one that was kind of low,
Mm-hmm.
which I think I do love to learn. I do love to learn, various topics and genres,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be politics or economics or learning about counselor education.
Yeah.
I enjoy learning, so the love of learning was also rather low. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing that jumped out to me. One thing that I do think is true that is towards the bottom, actually 23, is zest.
Okay.
Because I'm very laid back, chill. I'm not one to be super excited
Mm-hmm.
or to overexert all of my energy. I'm very observant, so I like to watch people rather than having people watch me.
Okay.
So
Would you say you're more methodical in your actions rather than just spontaneous?
every time.
Okay.
Every time. Everything
Okay.
that I do is almost like a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a problem sometimes because if things don't go my way, sometimes it can be upsetting, but it's not something that I can't adapt to.
Okay.
So.
Do you think that helps you in your leadership roles?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so. I actually try to be, in my relationship, I try to take out that methodology a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just because when I'm on campus, I'm always in that mode,
Mm-hmm.
right? So outside of that, I really try to just be myself and let go a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the difference between like being human and just being like a robot.
Yeah.
All the
Sometimes
time.
we get caught up in the robot section
Yeah.
at school and at work. It's easy to just fall into that. So
Yeah.
I think it's interesting and something to tip your hat at is like how you use it's the number 23 zest, but you realize that you're more strategic in your planning and like how you navigate life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that in itself might be low, the zest might be low, but what you're replacing it with of like your strategies and plans and how you do life brings you back up,
Yeah,
it's
that makes sense.
it kind of balances you out. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we both know this assessment isn't everything that you encompass.
Right.
This is an assessment. This is not done on a piece of paper 100%.
Right.
So it's interesting, and it's cool that you can see that even though you're ranked lower on something according to the assessment, that you still have a replacement, something that's more valuable to you.
Agreed.
In its place.
Agreed.
Are there any other ones that you want to kind of go into? Talk about a little bit.
Yeah. Appreciation of beauty and excellence. I love beauty. I love looking at specifically nature. I love the landscape. I love going to the mountains. I love going to the water. Real serene for me. I can sit out there all day and be okay without having a TV and all that and just entertain myself. Which is pretty interesting that it's as low as it is as well. Like you said, it's not a clear depiction of who I am on paper, but appreciation of beauty and excellence, like that's something I really love.
But that also, I think, goes hand in hand with your, you said laid back kind of style. And so if you mentioned the word serene, and that's really calm. And so from what I'm hearing is that you feel like, you aren't like a very spastic, spontaneous, let's do this, let's do it more methodical, calm, and like think it over a couple times for like a decision.
Yeah.
And so you would enjoy things that are serene and calm because it's like your kind of like your personality.
At peace. Yeah.
At peace.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And the other thing is, like, it's funny that you say that because I am like that, but I've yet to fully become that and then embody that. What was I about to say? Basically embodying what a methodical person would be. So like you said, like you envision me planning or always planning ahead or being in that serene spot. Sometimes it's not as serene as it should be. And I think if somebody were to step into my shoes, it'd be like, oh my God, what is going on? It's like a whirlwind, but allowing myself to stay calm throughout everything is an escape for me in itself, because I feel like if I get wound up in my emotions and in my feelings about what I have going on around me, then everything is just gonna collapse.
Yeah.
So,
it's like a safety net.
Yeah. So in that sense, basically what I'm saying is I have a lot of growing to do in that method, strategy, or strategic thinking that I have to make sure that it adheres to everything in my life rather than just in certain areas.
Okay. And that sounds like a good basis for some goals.
Yeah.
So, as we're kind of wrapping up, do you have any questions did you feel comfortable taking this assessment?
I did.
And did you know this is just between you and I, and no one can get these results because HIPAA, you signed the HIPAA agreement.
Exactly.
And I will keep these results as long as you'd like me to. You also have a copy of them printed off, and if you have any questions, please just let me know, call me, or come in.
Will do.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.